Hey, you made it down to the Toxic Vault. Welcome. How's it going? So I get a lot of questions about the old days and what went on back in the old days, and everybody asks me a lot about this one, and I'm going to talk about the Toxic Waltz video shoot. It was actually the first video that Exodus ever did, and we didn't really know what we were getting into. We didn't really know how a video was even made at that time, which after 2 days of the Toxic Waltz, we figured out how one was made, especially at that time. And I remember there's a very large crew. I don't think they do that anymore necessarily, but there was probably 15 to 20 people on the crew that they had. And I remember we invited all of our friends down and fans and anybody wanted to come to this Fillmore in San Francisco. I believe it was on a Saturday, Sunday we were shooting. In January of 89, actually, I believe was when we did that, because the album was coming out later that month. And I remember everybody coming in, and I think we bought a keg of beer, actually, to like try to keep everybody busy, because it wasn't a concert. It was a video shoot. And there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of times when there's nothing going on at all, or they're trying to set up a shot that they may not need the crowd. So the crowd got a bit restless, as we did as well. And I remember after the 2 days hating the shit out of that song, because you have to literally perform it probably no less than 150 times in 2 days. So I kind of got sick. I know it was everybody else's favorite song when Fabulous Disaster came out, but for the rest of us, we were all sick of hearing it, I think, from the video shoot alone. Ha 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 ha! Look at that. My first t-shirt, Zetro's Toxic Vault. Be the first one on your block to have it. Go to greyhavenmedia.net to get yours. And we actually, the second day, there wasn't as many crowd returnees as there was on the first day. I think they were all burned out, or we either got them too stoned or drunk in that time. But I remember it was very, very rigorous. There was a lot of people that came down and saw us do the video. In fact, we took a big picture. It was all the guys from Violence. In fact, if you look in there, I can see Phil Demmel doing a stage dive, and Billy Milano came down, and Scott Ian came down, and there was all the guys from Forbidden, and pretty much the Bay Area came down, because that's how it is here in the Bay Area. The metal bands all support each other and show their love very well and show each other respect, and that's kind of how it was. And who's to know that you would ever see yourself on MTV, right? Because MTV had been around for 7 or 8 years, and they showed hair metal bands, but they didn't really show thrash metal bands. So to see myself on MTV the first time was cool, and especially the video content that was in Toxic Waltz, because everybody's just slamming around and jumping off the stage, and it was completely wild. Even we were jumping off the stage back in the day when we were young. And then to this day, I still hear from people who love to see the old school video and talk about it. Man, that must have been so much fun. I guess they figured that it happened one shot at one concert. Little do they know that it was 16 hours, 2 days each, and probably 150 performances. So that's a little story about what happened at the Toxic